What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bets episode. Thank you guys for your name suggestions. We're still thinking of one. We're still going to figure it out. So make sure to like, comment your favorite name of our show underneath. Please show some love. Thank you for the support. 2,000 views on our last episode. I want more. We didn't bring the best plays, but overall, we're still doing all right. And don't lose hope because we're going to crush it. Guaranteed. Austin, how are you? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Fired up. We got a small slate today, but can't complain.
Four games. It allows you to kind of regroup. On these days with the bigger slates, you do so much research, so much, line shopping, things like that you're just trying to figure things out. It's nice on the shorter slates to just kind of take a breather, still do your research, but a lot less to go through and kind of easier and kind of jumpstart and look ahead for other stuff as well. So we're going to dive in on these little games. We have one play that we both love. We're going to share the play for you guys in a bit, but we're going to go down the list. And first up, we have Raptors versus the Wizards. We are recording this again Wednesday. So there's not a lot of lines up player props wise, and there's a few spreads posted. This game is a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Raptors. I don't really have anything in this game. I'm going to watch it as a fan, take some notes, wait for some props to come out. But overall, I'm not touching this game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I know. The thing that the Wizards, they're tough. They have a lot of different guys that always pop in and out on the injury report. So the lines tend to shift like periodically with them. Kristaps, Beal, Kuzma, even they always have a different guy on that injury report that affects it. So I told myself as well, I'm done with the Raptors. They're too unpredictable. They just put 5 centers out there and try to play slug ball. So yeah, I probably won't touch this game. I honestly probably won't touch props in this game either. Just kind of a weird game. And that's kind of what I like about the smaller slates. You usually can find the 1 or 2 games in those 4-game slates that you like, and you usually can target those and have pretty good success with that.
Yeah, one thing about this game is that it is the 9 and 10 seed in the East. The Raptors hold a 1-game lead over the Wizards for that 9 seed. Obviously not in the playoffs, but they're only a half game behind Atlanta. And that East race is really tough going from that 5 seed all the way down to that 12 seed with the Pacers. So it should be interesting down the stretch. All these games matter. So if you're a fan of one of these teams, exciting times. But as far as betting purposes, I don't know if I'm going to pick any of these that have edges. So I'm staying away from that game overall. The second game on this list is a pretty interesting game in terms of star power. You have the Sixers versus the Mavericks. And it's Joel Embiid versus Luka. You got Kyrie, you got James Harden. So overall, star power is there. The Mavericks, to me, have not shown that they can compete, but the Sixers are also kind of struggling. And after that, kind of 2-game series against the Heat, it's going to be tough to pick up this fast-paced team in the Mavericks as well. So I'm going to see what that line comes out at. I don't see a line right now. They're probably waiting for Embiid status, or maybe if in case someone gets hurt during the game tonight, since they play again, we're on Wednesday. What are your thoughts on this game? I know you like this as a fan.
Yeah, if we have full health, like both teams fully healthy, I honestly could see Joel Embiid dropping 40 and 20 on this team. I don't think Dallas, I like what they did going and getting Kyrie because they weren't good enough at the time. You have to go all in and try to make a move. However, their interior is just weak. Dwight Powell, Christian Wood, those guys aren't going to be able to handle Joel Embiid. And so I give the advantage there. I'm interested to see, is there a line out yet for it?
No line. It's the only game that there's no line out for. I think it's because of the Embiid.
It's because they play today too. Yeah. So yeah, something to watch. We could post on our Twitters if there's a play we like from it, but yeah, definitely an interesting game. I would lean Sixers depending where the line is, just because I think Embiid just has such a great matchup compared to anyone else in that game.
Yeah. And again, both teams really need these games. This is fun basketball that we're basically watching. You got the Mavericks, who are the 7 seed, but only a game ahead of the Jazz, who are 9th, and then only 2 games ahead of the Trailblazers, who are 11th. And in the East, the Sixers are going to make the playoffs, but they're going to want to still hold off the Cavs from kind of hawking them from that 4 seed to the 3. Overall, yeah, I don't think Embiid plays either tonight, Wednesday, or tomorrow. I think he's dealing with that foot injury. I know they need these wins, but I don't see him playing both of these games. So if he doesn't play against the Mavericks, I'm obviously going to be Team Mavericks, but you're going to have to see and kind of wait, see if you can hawk that line early as far as that goes.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I lean that he plays tonight just because they dropped the first one against Miami, and, like, you really don't wanna lose another one in conference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I would lean that he plays tonight. Hopefully, he's able to play both games and we don't have to worry about him missing, but, you know, I I
Yeah.
I would say it's more likely he plays tonight than both nights.
Yeah, I agree. There is the next game on the list that we do love and we do enjoy, and we do have our play of the day. I'm going to make sure I post this in the timestamps for you guys. It is the Pacers versus the Spurs. Uh, I would say both teams need to win, but we all know the Spurs are basically trying to lose. 1-9 in their last 10 games, fresh off a W. But they are 9-21 at home, 6-26 on the road, combined for 15-47. And the Pacers they're the 12th seed right now, but they're only 3.5 games out of the 8 seed. So it's still fighting, and you gotta beat on these Spurs team. You gotta think, right? You gotta think you can't lose games like this if you're fighting for a playoff spot.
Exactly. Yeah, the Pacers, this line will shift. It came out -4.5. I already am locking it in. If the Pacers have their full lineup out there and are healthy, I think they dog the Spurs. Like, the Spurs beat them the first time, but, like, they didn't have Devin Vassell, or they don't have Devin Vassell now. They don't have Jakob Poeltl now. They don't have Josh Richardson now. Trey Jones is banged up. Like, Malachi Branham just got hurt yesterday. Like, all their dudes are just banged up. So they're running out there like Keita Bates Diop, Zach Collins, Keldon Johnson, obviously. Like, they're banged up. And so if you're just looking at the two rosters, 4.5 is low for a Pacer team that has upside to beat them by double digits, you know?
Yeah, I'm again. So if you haven't noticed, this is our collab play. We were both running through the lines that are available. We were like, we got to play this. Like, we'll die on this horse. I would take this up to like -6, honestly, maybe even 6.5 if it does shift that way. Again, stay tuned on our Twitter in case we post it and the line does move, but we should get it up nice and early for the line to be around this, and hopefully does move in the favor that we said, and not the other
Right.
way. But I don't see that happening. Yeah, this Pacers team is just way too talented to go down. It's such an important game down the stretch. We're gonna go with the road favorites, and continue to fade the Spurs, which has been so profitable over this whole season, basically. Any other props you think you want to play here, just off the bat before
I
the
think
lines
my
come
I
out, or
think
no?
I think Miles Turner, like, honestly, if you've played centers every time against the Spurs this year, you've made a shit ton of money. Like, Zach Collins isn't stopping anyone. You know what I mean? He's just
Yeah,
plugged out there. He's not a starting center, but they don't have anyone else, so he has to. And so centers against the Spurs have just dominated. If this one gets up and down, you could do something with like Turner double double or points rebounds. But definitely his points is going to be an interesting play. I would assume it comes out around 18.5 to 19.5, honestly, which is a little
yeah.
high for what it usually is, but it's just that's how good centers have done against the Spurs.
Yeah, and I think they all feast. I think Halliburton misses the assist last game, but he's gonna be feeding Turner all day long. And he should be just full on playmaker. He had 12 assists versus them the last time they played. His potential assists are probably through the roof. I think if he does play a banged up Spurs lineup, you could look at his. Honestly, maybe I don't want to say triple double watch because the rebounds, but he's probably going to get that double double with over 10 assists. So we'll see what that line comes out as. And the last game is Clippers Warriors, which is a fantastic game, honestly. Both teams are going to be, fighting for the West. I know the Warriors comeback win against the Trailblazers. When we're recording this the other night, I don't want to say last night, but the Warriors are a sneaky 5 seed, and the Clippers are tied with the Warriors, both 11.5 games, out of the first place, but 5 and 6 seed in the West. We got a nice game here. Russell Westbrook, we thought was a nice addition for the Clippers, but they're still working out their kinks, still trying to figure things out. What are your thoughts on this game? The line is, I believe, if I can pull it up here, it's 2.5 in favor of the Clippers. What are your thoughts?
I lean Clippers as well. I think honestly Russ is getting a lot of the blame because they're 0-3 with adding him. But, like, if you watch it, he's not playing that bad. I would argue that honestly the star power with Kawhi and PG have kind of been the problem. You have inconsistency between two all-stars that haven't played a ton of games with that lineup. You know what I mean? And so I think like the role players you can kind of rely on with the Clippers, but like they got to figure out that 1-2 punch, because like blaming Russ every time, like, yeah, I know he's not playing the like greatest like old Russ, but like you can't just blame, like his job wasn't to come in and be a 25.8 assist point guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would lean that Kawhi and PG kind of have to pick it up and get going.
I think we knew as well that, it would take a few games for this, this squad to mesh. Russell Westbrook is very ball dominant, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. So, I'd rather lose games now than lose games down the road. And I'm not saying that they can't lose games down the road, but you knew that this was going to be tough to figure out the puzzle. But if they figure out, they're still scary. And the Warriors are playing very well, but they beat the Trailblazers. Let's face it, the Trailblazers really aren't that good. I think the Clippers, you got like a good buy low spot there, short spread. Lost 3 in a row. I think it's a good bounce back spot. Warriors won 3 in a row. I think they're due for a loss. I think I have to side with you on the Clippers there, but we'll post out more on a Twitter later. Any props? You staying away from stuff as long as Steph Curry's still out? What's your deal?
Yeah, honestly, I don't have any props off the top of my head. I like taking point guards against Golden State just because I don't really trust Jordan Poole, but I'm not really loving backing Russ points. So kind of undecided as of right now with props in that game.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it. Again, short slate, but we want to talk a little bit about each game. The Pacers -4.5 is our, I guess, collab video play best bet for you guys. So make sure to get that in. Comment below what your favorite play of the day is as well. We'll make sure to interact with you guys. Again, appreciate all the love and support. We have big things coming the rest of this NBA season and for the baseball season coming up. So don't go anywhere. Make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you guys next time on our best bets of the day. Peace out, guys.